Hey, how's it going, guys? It is Olivier, and today I want to share with you my stock portfolio update for the month of April 2024. As always, after checking out what are the different individual stocks that I hold in my portfolio, we'll be looking at what are the different sectors that are present in it, and we'll also look at what are the different transactions that I've made over the past month of March. But first, before you take a look at my different positions, you need to understand that throughout the next month of April, I won't be able to invest as much as I did during the month of March, because in fact with my new real estate acquisitions that I've made at the end of 2023, I need to withdraw a lot of my investment at the moment just to be able to pay the different renovations on the roof, as well as I'll need to be able to pay the different taxes that are coming on this property, and I also need to pay the different heat pumps that I'll be installing in 2 of my units. So now, without further ado, let's take a look at the different positions that I have in my stock portfolio. First, in terms of the technology sector, you can see that I have most of the big GAFAM, so Apple, Meta, Google, and Amazon, that are well represented in my overall portfolio. Mainly, Meta has gained quite a lot of value over the past couple of months, that is now worth over 17% of my total assets, and that is currently up by over 131% compared to the average price that I've paid for this company. Unfortunately, the company that hasn't been able to perform quite well over the past couple of weeks is Tesla, which is only up by about 8% on my average price. And as you can see also, my super small stake in Rumble, which is a small competitor of YouTube, hasn't been doing that well over the past couple of years, where it has been down by over 70%. But except of that, you can see that most of the tech companies that I have in my portfolio have been doing quite well over the past couple of years. And on the other hand, for the energy companies that I hold in my portfolio, which are 2 oil companies, so Enbridge and Pembina, you can see that Enbridge hasn't been doing that great over that period, with some return of about 10% compared to close to 80% for Pembina. But this is without including all the massive dividend income that I've received from both of these companies. Then in terms of the financial sector, you can see that I hold most of the big Canadian banks, so TD, RBC, Nova Scotia Bank, and the BMO Bank. And I also hold one of the largest insurance companies in the entire world, which is Manulife, which has been up quite importantly of close to 66% throughout the last couple of weeks and months. And what is pretty interesting about all of these big companies is that they are also distributing quite a lot of dividend income to their shareholders. So it makes that even in terms of the unrealized profits that haven't been that great in terms of the TD and the Nova Scotia Bank, where I'm still able to earn every single quarter quite a lot of dividend income from these big banks. Nevertheless, over the past couple of months and years, the worst sector that I have in my portfolio is the communication sector, with both Bell and TELUS, which are both down by about 20% each. Nevertheless, you can see that in terms of the consummation company that I have in my portfolio, which is Couche-Tard, well, since I first bought the company with an average price of about $37 about 3 years ago, you can see that its current price is about $75 at the moment, which actually represents a total unrealized profit of over 100% at the moment. Now, in terms of the materials company that I have in my portfolio, which is the small company Savaria, you can see that it has been pretty much stagnating over the past couple of months, with some return of close to 22%. But once again, this isn't including all the monthly dividend income that I receive every single month. Now, in terms of the only real estate investment trust that I hold in my portfolio, which is Raocan, representing about 10% of my total assets of the individual stocks that I have in my portfolio, well, you can see that the company has been doing fairly good over the past couple of months, with some unrealized profit of close to 40% at the moment. And finally, my super small stake in the 5 Plus company hasn't been doing that great over the past couple of years, with some overall return of about 3.42% at the moment. And so this makes that at the end of the day, my individual stock portfolio is currently worth about $106,000, or some unrealized profit on my initial $72,000 investment of about $33,430, which represent about 46% of overall return. Obviously, all of this return doesn't include all the dividend income that I've made, but it also doesn't include all the different exchange trade funds that I have in my portfolio. But now, when we take a look at the different sectors that I have in it, you can see that the technology sector still represents close to 50% of my total assets. Then we can see that the financial sector is also well represented in my portfolio with about 22% of my total assets. And then we can find the real estate sector coming at the third place, followed by the communication, the materials, and the consumption sectors. And finally, the other sectors or my small stake in 5 and Plus represent less than 1% of the total assets that I have in my portfolio. Then in terms of the transactions that I've made over the past month, you can see that I've made a few transactions where I've been buying a few different companies because they were, in my opinion, considered as some discounted value companies. First, you can see that I've bought about 4 shares of Tesla with an average price of about $175, which represent a total of about $700 US. And then on the 22 March, I've bought about 3 shares of Manulife for an average price of about $32.71, and 3 shares of TELUS with an average price of $21.80, which represent an additional $200 of purchase. But now, if you're currently looking for great undervalued stocks that have a lot of potential for the long term, well, check out the video that's gonna be right over here, and I will see you soon. Peace!